This week in Destiny. This week in Destiny, we are drooling over more cutscene goodness, taking a peek on upcoming weapon changes, scoping out the latest update regarding the community voted exotic weapon ornament that kicked off earlier this year, and oh, by celebrating the new secret exotic mission. If you haven't checked it out yet, you totally should. Not that I'm trying to be your mom or anything, but it's pretty spiffy. I'm just saying. Before dropping into this week's Twid Delight, let's take a quick look back at what was shared last week. Last week, we got an update on the game stability and, well, the next steps coming forward. We got a little sneak peek on next week's Lucky Week in Fishing, the Witness's Origin cutscene, the final round of Drown in the Deep, current Prime Gaming drops got extended all the way back to the 19th of July, and the Community Emblem competition really kicked off. But what we're breaking down in this video is Bungie Day, the cutscene and the hang, mid-season weapon tuning preview, the final Iron Banner, heads up, show that exotic fish pride, and we hear you like Weather Horde. Now let's go ahead and dive into last week's cutscene that we hope you enjoyed, shall we? Get those 7 ready. It's Bungie Day. Tomorrow is Bungie Day because you know what? We love our 7th tier and we're excited to be celebrating with Bungie's foundation for this year's Giving Festival, fishing shenanigans, and some solid loot snag before the week is out. First up, let's look at what Bungie Foundation has going on. Once again, the Bungie Foundation is empowering our incredible community to put their best gaming foot forward for a good cause. In case you missed it, here's a brief breakdown of what you missed. You're getting new prizes with it, in-game items, limited edition marathon t-shirts, and even PlayStation game codes for titles like The Last of Us, Ghost of Tsushima, God of War, and many more. Don't miss out on 7 days of prizes too, which include dope finds like plushies and Varric statues. Pretty cool. A variety of emblems for those guardians chipping in for a good cause, and a community emblem. Create an emblem that you'd like to see in Destiny 2 for a shot of winning our emblematic competition, or a shot that a dream could become a reality. Sloan dropping those knowledge bombs in perfect cutscene form. Now, we all know that Sloan is a badass and stay away because she's totally mine. But back to the story at hand and back to the article at hand. Not that I'm a fan of dramatics per se, but last week's cutscene broke me in the best of ways. And judging by your reactions, I'm far from alone. Sloan is a total badass, and what is next going on is one heck of a wild ride. For anyone who wants to revisit the intense moment a la Sloan, Zavala, and Asha, or anyone who may have missed it entirely and doesn't mind the spoilers, check out the cutscene and the article. But on that note, time for some revelations. It's time to get your mid-season weapon preview ready because the update is here. You get a weapons update. You get a weapons update. Everybody gets a weapons update. It's that time again. Time to prep for the mid-season weapon update. If you missed it, the full breakdown earlier this week, you can scope the delectable pew-pew goodness right here. And here's a brief recap and a short message from the team, the weapons team. For Season 21 season weapon patch, we wanted to address a few weapons and perks that have been over or underperforming in Crucible, leading up to the larger set of changes coming in Season 22. So we're getting a small change. Next season, we should be getting a much larger change. We also wanted to respond to feedback that Shariah's Ras ADS reticle was difficult to use, and the Graviton Lance feels like it lacks too much of a punch in PvE. So we got a TLDR down below for you. The Pulse Rifles Nurse, including No Time to Explain and Graviton Lance. Graviton Lance gets a PvE damage buff by 67%. I wish it was 69%, but we were almost there. Lightweight bows are getting a buff, so now precision bows are going to be the only thing you see. Hopefully these lightweight bows smack a little bit harder. The lightweight shotguns get a horizontal buff of 18%. We're getting changes in the Wrath reticle. Fighting Lion's Chimera perk fixed. Target lock nerf in PvE, gunshot straight, and slick draw are all getting buffed. So gut shot and slick draw, two roles that weren't very popular, but now they may be finding their way in the meta. And as always, we'd love to hear your thoughts on the exotic weapons or weapon archetypes you would want to see buffed in future seasons. So let us know on Twitter or Reddit what those top 3 lists would be. And I bet you it's going to be Threads here soon. I wonder what Thread is going to replace. Is it going to replace Twitter or Reddit? But here nor there, how do we balance the weapons? How does Bungie balance the weapons? Bungie has talked about this before, that Bungie thought this would be a good opportunity to dive a little deeper into the metrics that we use to balance the weapons in the sandbox. As previously mentioned, we use a mix of personal experience, that playtest feedback, community feedback, sentiment, usage, and effectiveness when we decide how we should handle a weapon that is over or underperforming. The first handful of those are self-explanatory, but we will never really gone in depth as of how we define a weapon's performance in the Crucible. As far as the data goes, we have 5 main things we look that answer that specific question: usage, kills, win rate, kills per minute, and kills over expected. And that means the given data above and filtering for things like player skill, game mode, subclass, ammo type, data range, etc., is a specific weapon or type of weapon getting more or fewer kills than expected. So that is the primary way that they are gauging on how to make a weapon stronger or weaker. While we look at everything listed above, we focus mostly and heavily on kills over expected, the KOE, which blends the data into a single, easily understood percentage value. Low usage weapons can have highly variable KOEs, or kills over expected, but as usage increases and more given the population since the utilization of a weapon, we want to see the KOE normalize, ideally go into that nice sweet spot. And what is nice is they give us a full-on image for us to really see here, and this image really shows us a chart of the kills over expected metrics. For the last month of primary weapons in high-skill PvP lobbies across all platforms with all input types, as you move towards the right side of the chart, usage time increases. We want to see the weapon get closer to the 0% KOE on the y-axis, which means that it is performing as expected. You can see that the Messenger of Adept, No Time to Explain, Graviton Lance, and the Immortal Adept are all currently slightly elevated above where we would like to see them for their current usage levels. Compared to other weapons to the left, hints us taking a pass at what may be allowing them to outperform their peers. Aim assist, range, target lock. As example, in Season 19, Dead Man's Tale was at a 60% KOE with a 4.5% usage, leading us to an issue for a hotfix and bring it more in line with expectations. As a note, KOE is not a one-size-fits-all metric. Certain weapons, in particular support weapons or weapons like Le Monarch, must be evaluated separately as their effectiveness is not tied to their ability to kill Gardens directly. I'm not gonna lie, for somebody who comes from Call of Duty or a Halo background, to get this level of transparency, to see an actual chart with numbers and percentages, this is some transparency that you just don't see in other communities, and I hope the Destiny community doesn't take this for granted, because even looking at this is amazing. Okay, the Iron Banana. Long live the Salad Fingers, because we only got one more week in this last season. You know the drill. Another week, another Iron Banner. Heads up if you want the Wolfie new emblem. This is your final shot at snagging it this season, so get out there, kick butt, Saladin, aka Mr. Salad Fingers, would want you to. So get out there, kick some ass. And this week in rotation, we're getting Fortress, i.e. zone control. So I'm going to be controlling your zone, because there ain't nothing you can do about it. One fish, two fish, three fish, exotic fish, pin fish. Sometimes you just need to go out into a good spot and get your best Guardian fashion. Just chill and chat like we did yesterday. It was fantastic. We talked about how to grow your kick channel. It was amazing. But to get back to the point, you may want to peep the new exotic angler pin set. A Bungie Rewards offers the Bungie store that can be purchased. Okay, so this is just saying that you can collect all the pins if you really wanted to. No, thank you. To weather Horde or not to weather Horde, either or, it's gonna look awesome. Earlier this year, we rolled results for the new weapons to get community voted armament treatment. Wow, I read that completely wrong. With a whopping 45% vote, Weatherhorn took the both Izanagi's Burden and Thunderlord. The next step then was to get the chosen community artists to start working on some spiffy designs to consider. Well, the time is now. Go ahead with these lovely designs to gander to vote. Make sure to keep an eye out for an email. Having trouble receiving emails, click the article here, link it all up, and it shows us this nice little image with Weather Horde broken up into 3 different parts. The first one has this really cool fluid looking design. The middle is like this very geometrical, lots of circles, white with black and the red, and then the back end kind of looks like something out of the Iron Banner, which personally I'm liking the end and the beginning, not so much the middle, but that is just my 2 cents. Now, we got a cross save reminder. Deactivating cross save will result in unskippable 90-day deactivation cooldown prior to players being allowed to re-enable it. And then lastly, ending it off with some known issues. While we continue to investigate various known issues, here are a list of issues that we reported in our help forum. Defeating unstoppable champions too quickly during the intro of PISP Battleground Moon Nightfall can result in missing revive tokens, as well as players earning a lower than expected reward tier. And then the Altar of Reflections, memories may not appear centered when viewed. That is the update this week in Destiny. Let me know what you guys think down below.